Everyone, so today I'm going to talk about job loss at 61, and I guess my journey was quite impactful, and what that meant for me and how I turned that into an opportunity for me, and see what lessons was learned. So the first thing was that there was definitely the writing was on the wall. In other words, there was a lot of things that was happening at the time that kind of was cumulative. So if you're working for a small organization, which was in my case, I was working for a small organization, and which was also a non-profit. Things are happening in the non-profit world that you need to be aware of. A couple of months ago, I was chatting to a funder, and she was telling me that a lot of non-profit organizations are closing. Because they're not getting the funding that they need to sustain themselves. And I thought to myself, oh wow, surely that could never happen to us. Well, in the meanwhile, we had our first big fundraising event the middle of the year, and that is where our major funds come from. And so we did not meet our targets at all. It was, we were quite behind in what we were supposed to achieve, and so that was the first thing. The second thing was that we had another second fundraiser, which also fell short quite significantly. And then after that, I'm just pointing to you what were the different pieces of the writing on the wall. Then we got an announcement, and I was part of management. We were told that there's no money, no budget for training. There's no money for really for anything other than the normal expenses. There was definitely nobody was getting a cost of living increase, was totally out of the question. And so these were different things that really was the writing on the wall. But I still thought that, well, we still have time for sure we have time to make up those losses. And then there was a report that a lot of funding proposals didn't come through. And so even I thought, okay, well, yeah, so we'll just go along, and hopefully things will improve. So on this particular Friday, I usually meet with the executive director, myself. We usually have sort of an update meeting of what happened in the week, what we're planning, what I was planning for the coming week, and just giving a full update. And lo and behold, at this meeting, so she and I were having this, I'm giving her the update, and end of the update, she tells me, well, I don't know how to tell you this, but your position has been made away with, and you have 30 days notice. You'll be finishing off at the end of the month. I was gobsmacked. I was lost for words. I didn't even know how to respond. I thought, this is am I hearing correctly? Did she just say that my position has been made away with, and I don't have a job? And the reality, I was just lost. I was just totally devastated and for loss of words. And I just ended the conversation. And then, to add insult to injury, she said to me, "Oh well, and your team, I'm sending out a notice to the rest of the team to let them know that this is happening." And so literally within 5 minutes of me knowing, the rest of my team got to hear that my position has just been eliminated. And I had such a lovely team of people who reported to me, and now they were calling me to find out what's happening. Is this true? And I could not even respond. Like, I was totally devastated. It just so happened that day I was working from home and I was alone. My husband was away, and I knew that he was going to be a bit late, and so I had a bit of time just for this to sink in. And these things never sink in quickly, right? They just take time to absorb. And I was totally blindsided. I did not see this kind of blow coming. So looking back, I realized that I saw the writing on the wall, but I didn't know that the blow was going to come so quickly. And the weeks that followed, I was told that I can look for something else. In the meantime, I don't have to come in. And well, that's exactly what I did. What was shocking to me was that, I looked back and I realized that even going through these difficult times, we were planning a new program, to use another software for one of our programs. And I offered to run the workshop from my home, and so that we could save costs from going to another venue and paying for that venue. Not only did I offer my place, I cooked breakfast for everyone, made breakfast for everybody, made lunch for everyone. Yes, they contributed to the meal, but more contribution than ingredients than, I still put in a lot of my own, just as a way of cutting down costs. And just, there were petrol expenses that I didn't put in, just because you realize, okay, things are tight, let me just put in and let's, at the cost of myself. And I think that was why this was particularly hard and difficult, was that you realize that you went that extra mile, that you know, and a cost to you. And this is the way that you are replayed. You totally blindsided and knocked from just from nowhere. A couple of months ago, we were approached as an organization for the senior leadership to have a coach, and we were each given a coach. And the first meeting that I had with my coach, I said to her, I am constantly being blindsided by the executive director, and this is leaving an uncomfortable feeling with me. That was my first. She said, what is your most important thing that you want to talk about? What's the first thing that you want to talk about? And that was the first thing I said. I said, I don't know if it's a management style, if this is just the way that she works with people, but she keeps on blindsiding me. In other words, what I am saying is that already before that, my gut was telling me something isn't right. Something isn't right. So even before her telling me, I had picked up that I just didn't know that I was going to be the subject of what was coming down. So in Canada, the employer can give you notice, and when they are making away with a position, that is the law. And so unfortunately, that didn't leave me with much to go on. And I'm just saying this so that, if you find yourself in a similar position, ask yourself, if you start to see signs that things are not right, listen to your gut. Your gut is telling you something. And so instead of being fully blindsided like I was, obviously, had I known early on, I could have started looking out for something else in the meanwhile, which obviously now wasn't the case. So, get if things are not right in your organization, start updating your resume, start to look out for, what would you do if this was to happen to you. And so for me, I am taking a different, it's given me a chance to really look at my own life, look at what I want to do differently. At 61, life it's a very different picture when you are at this age where the opportunities are not as what it was, and of course enjoying a particular salary range. You are, there's going to be, and I knew there was going to be a lot of challenges ahead. And just looking at, what were my options. And so one of the skills that I did have was, thankfully, counselor many years ago. And even though I can't get my licensing because I practice in another country, I was able to change and get my coaching license, which I have, and I'm able to now use that to develop a different opportunity for myself. And so, sometimes you just got to look at, what are the skills that you have? How can you pivot? How can you do things differently? I have had, I've had to pivot so many times in my life. I've moved countries twice, and we moved from South Africa to Singapore. I moved from Singapore to Canada, and I've been a social worker for so long, and I've done different things, and it is a time where you just look you look at your life and you say, okay, what can I do that's going to be sustaining? And so this is what I have come up for myself, and that is, thankfully, I have a partner, husband, who's able who's very supportive and very encouraging, and that is so important when you are going through a very challenging time of your life, where you unexpectedly have to take a different path. And so they say every cloud has a silver lining, and I know that the silver lining will come. I absolutely know that. So I'm just going to say that we are in that period of time where I see a lot of people being laid off, and the one thing that you've got to be is resilient. That's the one thing that I was able to do, and that is to be resilient through these tough times, and to always believe in yourself. The one thing we do is, when something traumatic like this happens, you tend to blame yourself, you tend to cut up yourself, and you tend to take the blame on yourself. And that is just going to cause you to, become depressed, and because life doesn't end when your job ends. It really, you just need to recognize that you have the skills, you have the ability to do and try different things, and some of them will work and some of them won't work, but try them nevertheless. We're all in this together, so the hardest thing for me was to tell my husband and children that this had happened to me. That was the hardest piece. Once I was over that, I could face anything after that. I really felt that, with them knowing, having their love and support means the world to me. I'm also very lucky in that I do have people around me, friends, that are really close and supportive and always sort of watching out for me, and so I am able to move on. But this is not always the case for everyone. You might need to seek some professional help, some other help, just to get you through. So and lean into that if you need to. And so from my side, I hope that this, you can take something away that can help you should you find yourself in this position. So I look forward to chatting to you at the next video. Bye for now, and don't forget to hit the subscription button. Bye for now.